for another 1,400 positions. And these are real jobs. These aren't shelf stocker jobs. These are breadwinner jobs. These are people that are getting laid off, people that are paying their mortgages. The labor force participation rate is lower than it's been in decades. More people have left their jobs than jobs that have been created. And when they count a job created or a job held, they consider a $1 job to be full-time employment. He's employed, period. A job was created, period. It doesn't matter if it's a minimum wage job for 2 weeks. Boom, they count it as a job created. The euro is down 11% this year alone. They prop up Obama and the administration and the Fed prop up the U.S. dollar. They keep the stock market afloat by printing more money, by making money out of nothing. How can you do this and not expect a collapse? It is going to happen. Food stamp recipients. There are now 46 million plus food stamp recipients for their 35th straight month. A 20-year low on home ownership. Lumber prices are down 30% over the last several months. People aren't buying homes, so lumber's not needed. And even with lumber being down, homes aren't being built. Things are bad, and things are getting a lot worse. Meanwhile, Obama and the First Lady are spending money like it's party time. The two of them flew out to Hollywood last week. She was going to be on the DeGeneres Show, and he was going to be on Jimmy Kimmel Live. But they took separate planes. Air Force One flew across with the First Lady, went back, flew out later in the day for Obama. And then they went back separately. Double the trips. It'll cost about $1 million each way. It's mind-boggling how they can continue to turn a blind eye. They can act like we're in a recovery when everybody looks around and says, huh? Gas prices have gone up 30 cents in the last couple of months. The Obama administration has cooked every number on every one of the reports they've ever put out. They keep inflation numbers being low. How do they do that? Because you know it costs more when you go to the grocery store. I used to buy a 70-pound brisket for $1.79 or $2.25 just a year ago. $2.25 a pound at the most. Last week, I paid $4.25 for a brisket. $4.25 per pound for an 18-pound brisket. It's mind-boggling. Nearly twice the price. Beef, in general, across all cuts, is at an all-time high. It's never costed more. But inflation is down. It's down because they no longer count food items. They don't count it because you would see it. You'd feel it. But now you feel it, but they tell you you're wrong because inflation is down. Not only are prices going up, but pay attention next time you go into the store. Because everything you buy is a smaller package. Something that you used to pay $2 for Not only is it $3, but it's also a few ounces lighter. I call it the Obama-sization. They're keeping the prices as close as they can to what they used to be. They're still going up, but they just make the packages smaller. Instead of getting a pound, you're buying 14 or maybe 12 ounces of Oreos. They cook the books. I haven't seen the numbers for a while, but the monthly unemployment numbers used to come out. New unemployment requests are down. It would make the headlines. Fewer unemployment requests than expected. Then a week or 2 weeks later, they'd adjust it. Oh, we made a mistake. We counted this, or we didn't count that. And the adjustments would go on the back page. And they would be treble above where they expected, rather than being slightly below. It's the most dishonest administration that I've seen in my lifetime. And we can't get them out of office quick enough. Now, this next one we can't pin just on Obama. But it's official, folks. Americans are just plain stupid. Americans born after 1980 are lagging in their peers in countries ranging from Australia to Estonia, according to a new report from researchers at the Educational Testing Institute. The study looked at scores for literacy and numeracy from a test called Program for the International Assessment of Adult Competencies, which tested the abilities of people in 22 countries. The results are sobering, with dire implications for America. It hints that students may be falling behind not only in their early educational years, but at the college level as well. Even though more Americans between the ages of 20 and 34 are achieving higher levels of education, they're still falling behind their cohorts in other countries. Japanese. In Japan, in Finland, the Netherlands, young adults with only a high school diploma degreed on par with American millennials holding a 4-year college degree. How in the world is this possible? A column by Michael Snyder this week explains it. Out of 22 countries, the report from ETS found that Americans were dead last in tech proficiency. We were also dead last in numeracy, and only 2 countries performed worse than us when it came to literacy proficiency. Half of American millennials scored below the minimum standard of literacy proficiency. Only 2 countries scored worse. Italy at 60% and Spain at 59%. The results were even worse for numeracy. Almost 2/3 of American millennials are failing to meet the minimum standard for understanding and working with numbers. That placed the U.S. millennials dead last for numeracy among 22 developed countries. That is a scary, scary thought. From the first grade all the way through postgraduate education, the quality of education that our young are receiving is absolutely pathetic. After 2 years of college, 45% showed no significant gains in learning. After 4 years, only 36% showed little change. Students also spent 50% less time studying compared with students a few decades ago. 35% of the students report spending less than 5 or fewer hours a week studying alone. Half of them said they never took a class in a typical semester where they wrote more than 20 pages. And 32% never took a course in a typical semester where they read more than 40 pages a week. Meanwhile, our colleges are offering courses such as, and this is not a joke, these are actual college courses that our millennials are taking. What if Harry Potter is real? Lady Gaga and the Sociology of Fame. Philosophy and Star Trek. Learning from YouTube. How to watch television. For the love of God, somebody actually paid for a course on how to watch television. And lastly, oh look, a chicken. I don't even want to guess what that college course is about. This is a national crisis, people. Parents should be screaming bloody murder, Michael Snyder says, about the quality of education that their children are receiving, because very few of them actually know what's going on. So the likelihood of them screaming is very slim. They just continue to write out huge tuition checks, all the while believing that the kids are being prepared for the real world. To show how dumbed down we've become, Michael Snyder posted an 8th grade exam from 1912 that was donated to a history museum in Kentucky. I'm going to read a few questions. This is from an 8th grade exam back in 1912. 8th grade. Forget 8th graders answering any of these questions now. Could our college graduates, would you? A man sold a watch for $180. He lost 16 2/3%. What was the actual cost of the watch? A man bought a farm for $2,400 and sold it for $2,700. What percent did he gain? How long a rope is required to reach from the top of a building 40 feet high to the ground 30 feet from the base of the building? From the base of the building, not to the ground. From the top of the building to the ground 30 feet away from the base. I'd have a hard time working that one out. I'm afraid to say it. How many parts of speech are there? Define each. What is a personal pronoun? What properties have verbs? Define longitude and latitude. Give name and give boundaries of the 5 zones. Locate the Erie Canal. What water does it connect and why is it important? Locate the following countries which border each other: Turkey, Greece, Serbia, Montenegro, Romania. Locate these cities: Mobile, Quebec, Buenos Aires, Liverpool, Honolulu. How does the liver compare in size with other glands in the human body? Where is it located? What does it secrete? Compare arteries and veins as to function. Where is the blood carried to be purified? 12th graders could answer this just 103 years ago. Define the following forms of government: democracy, limited monarchy, absolute monarchy, republic. Give examples of each.